So if you missed the Pitbull video that I've been putting out, Steve Sadow, I just love this attorney. I've got a couple of videos that I posted recently. Today I'm going to show you this remarkable rebuttal that I think just makes it even more prescient, even more emphatic that Trump hired the best attorney on the planet. I think he's literally, Steve Sadow, the Pitbull, I think he's literally the best attorney on the planet right now. I've said it a million times. If I was ever in trouble, this is my guy. I'm going to hire him, no doubt about it, especially if my life was on the line. But this rebuttal that he engages in at the end of Abadi, whatever his name is, this guy did such an awful job. Fani Willis' attorney, I'll show you a quick clip, but I can't watch. I don't want to bear you to that kind of torture, because watching him is literally like watching somebody chew glass. It's just awful. His rebuttal, he just takes Abadi to law school all over again. I'm not even sure if Abadi I don't even know how this guy became an attorney, because he just seems so green. He was fumbling, stumbling, mumbling, a lot of uhs, a little ahs. I'll show you a quick clip, but you gotta check out Sadow the Pitbull with his remarkable, ferocious rebuttal. He just chews up Abadi and spits him right out, and then pay attention at the end to what the judge says right after Sadow gives his rebuttal. It's the very end of the closing arguments. The Fani Willis hearing is over, and I'm going to tell you, stick around to the end of this video, because I'm going to tell you what's coming up. I'm going to keep you up to date, as I always have been. What is going on? What is the latest? What's, the future entail? When is the decision coming? How, when, who, what, when, where, why? I'm going to give you all of it. So stick around for that. But let's just watch a quick clip of Abadi make an absolute fool of himself. We also did a live stream of the entire hearing. I'll leave a link to that. But check this out really quickly. This is what I mean by Abadi being an absolute dumpster fire. Watch this.
So in the case that's been referenced by all parties here today, Whitworth v. State 275 Georgia, Appeal 790 to 2005 case. In that case, it says Whitworth's complaints are largely based on speculation and conjecture. Applying any evidence standard to the record, it is clear that the trial court did not abuse its discretion in denying Whitworth's motion to disqualify Morgan based upon his personal interest in his conviction.
Aren't we past the speculation and conjecture aspect of this, though? I mean, the original and the core of the financial allegation was that there is a relationship and that money has changed hands. There's maybe still an open question of where the ledger stands, but I think it was conceded that that balance could run in one way or in the district attorney's favor. Is that contested?
Yes. What's not contested is that a relationship did develop between
and that purchases were made back and forth. That's the state's position.
That is the state's position, but they were made back and forth. The purchases were made back and forth, either to equal the money that was spent by one party or the other, and if that wasn't done, cash was exchanged in order to equal the costs that were paid by either one of the parties.
Right. But that's a facted issue, whether it was, split even, or whether it goes a little bit one way or another, or whether it's all the way $10,000 one way or another. That's a facted issue as a result of the hearing, but it's no longer just the theory that money changed hand is no longer speculation or conjecture.
Well, I agree that money actually changed hands is not speculation and conjecture, but whether that money that changed hands had any financial benefit or gain to the district attorney, that is all speculation and conjecture. I would submit to the court. Absolutely all speculation and conjecture to harass and honestly embarrass the district attorney based on some of the questions that were asked that had absolutely nothing to do with the proceedings that we were here. For example, the lien on her alleged house, that was highly irrelevant, had nothing to do with the proceedings and the exchange of money between the district attorney and Mr. Wade. The point of that line of questioning was to, again, embarrass and harass the district attorney in a way that was very public, and in a way that was to impugn her character as it relates to that line of questioning in front of the court, in front of anyone watching the proceedings as it unfolded.
She impugned herself. Are you joking me right now? She absolutely impugned herself. How did the defense, the cross-examination, the line of questioning did not impugn her, my dear friend Abati. It was her. She herself perjured herself. She herself embarrassed herself. Were you not there? And so anyway, I can't show too much of Abati because it's really torturous to watch. But here comes the pit bull. Watch this ferocious rebuttal. And then I want you to pay close attention to what the judge says at the very end of Sadow's rebuttal, because it's absolutely, I think, symbolic of perhaps where he's going to go with his decision. And then, by the way, stick around after that. We'll talk about it, and then I'll tell you what's going to happen next. So watch this. This is pristine art, absolute, just amazing performance by Steve Sadow. Let's watch this.
That's what it says. Mr. Cromwell. Okay. Handing it
So Fani rushed out of court.
Mr. Sadow, all yours.
I'm going to do rebuttal, specific rebuttal. One, state somehow makes an argument that we should have asked Mr. Wade questions about his relationship and his communications with Mr. Bradley when they objected over and over and over. And Wade's counsel objected over and over and over, claiming that everything that Bradley was told by Wade was attorney-client privilege. Your Honor made determinations thereafter to Bradley. We didn't get the opportunity to call Mr. Wade back to the stand. So to claim that you can't impeach him because you didn't ask him when they objected to us asking him is obviously a false position to take, as disingenuous as it can be. Now, if the court wants to open it up, we'll be more than happy to call Mr. Wade back to the stand. But as the record stands, there could be no confrontation of Mr. Wade when both his counsel and the state are arguing that it shouldn't be done. Second, let's use a little common sense here. Forensic misconduct received about 2 minutes worth of discussion. The rest of it is all on conflict. Forensic misconduct dealing with the way the state wants you to have is if you don't accuse someone or you don't say that someone's guilty.
Yeah, assuming you can impugn someone's character to the degree that constitutes forensic misconduct. Why is that?
I'm sorry, say that.
Here? Assuming you can impugn someone's character to the degree that it constitutes forensic misconduct. I think that I guess the state's primary position was that they weren't talking about you at the church.
Right. And if you go listen to it and watch it, it starts off by saying, why does Commissioner Bridget Thorne and so many others, and then it refers to they attack him for being black. They attack him, not anyone else, just they attack the black man. They're not talking about Miss Thorne or Marjorie Taylor Greene. They're talking about us. And you know how everybody knows that? Because not a single story from the media reported anything other than Fani Willis accused the defense and defendants of being racist. Now, here's the common sense part of this. If you follow the state's position on forensic misconduct, Fani Willis could all day long talk about race. She could say the defendants, I'm not saying they're guilty or not guilty, but they're racist. They're racist. They're racist. And according to the state's position on forensic misconduct, that wouldn't be a problem. Obviously, that makes no sense whatsoever. The issue here that we've dealt with on forensic misconduct is not simply the church speech. It's why she did it, how she did it, calculated, and all the other things that we talked about with the testimony of Wade and Willis in this case. Let's go to the relationship issues and the cell phones briefly. No one knew that there was a relationship between Wade and Willis, according to Wade and Willis. Not a soul was ever told that they were dating or that there was an intimate relationship, ever. They concealed it from all parties, from Daddy. Daddy didn't even know they had a relationship. Suggest that somehow in the beginning of 2021, January to whatever it was into April, that they couldn't have met in Hapeville. They didn't meet anywhere that would allow the public to see them. That's the reason why they were meeting at Yertes, because no one else was ever there. Remember the testimony? Who else was there besides Mr. Wade and Miss Willis? Both of them agreed. No one ever went there except them. They didn't go to where Daddy was in Miss Willis's house because Daddy was there and Daddy would know. No other prosecutors knew. No one knows except who? The one person that knew was Bradley and Yerty. Yerty was the best friend at that time of Miss Willis, and Bradley was the partner of Wade. Now, the only way that Bradley can walk away from very little time. So I'll skip that. Let's go to something. Motive. That's an issue. Whose motive in this case is the strongest? Fani Willis, Nathan Wade. Because if they testify truthfully on every point, what happens if the relationship started before November 1st? They get disqualified. Who has the best motive of anyone to lie? They do. Who has the most at stake to lie? They do. Who wants to stay on this case for whatever the financial reason may be? They do.
And more. Thank you, Mr. Sadow. There it is. All right.
Did you catch that at the very end, what the judge said? There it is. There it is. There you have it. I think that Sadow brings up excellent point, motive. He completely rebuts and refutes everything Abadi said. Abadi saying that, like, it was all speculation. There was no motive. They didn't even ask Nathan Wade any questions that really extrapolated any truth or any sense of conflict or anything like that. And Sadow himself says he wouldn't let us question him. Even Nathan Wade's counsel, Chopra, I forget, Deepak Chopra, whatever that guy's name was, he kept objecting all the time. I mean, they wouldn't let this. So Abadi just dug himself a huge hole, and he was absolutely schooled by the master. The apprentice learned a lot from the master, the pit bull, Steve Sadow. I want to know what you guys think. Now, this is what's happening in the coming kind of conclusion of this, which I don't know, it might not even be a conclusion. We might be just starting here, y'all. You got to stick with me because you know I'm going to bring it to you every single second, up to date, live. Mainstream media, you heard the Pitbull Sadow. Mainstream media won't cover an iota of it. It doesn't fit the narrative. Legacy media won't cover any of it. You got to stick to us here, Nez Nation. That's who you got to stick with. There's probably going to be a live rendition and Judge McAfee going over what his decision is. You know we're going to live stream that. That's going to be absolutely monumental. And then what does that lead to? Probably is going to lead to some appeals, probably going to lead to some arduous back and forth negotiation. When's the trial? Are we going to go to trial? What's happening? Is she excused, not excused? Is that going to get appealed? I'm going to give you all of it. But from right now, in the next couple of weeks, Judge McAfee says he's going to make his decision. He's going to weigh all the evidence. But that little kind of short symbolic, there it is. I mean, it almost seems like he's leaning more towards, I mean, how can you not be convinced by the Pitbull? The Pitbull is just so eloquent, articulate, and more than anything, he's substantive. He brings substantive evidentiary evidence. He has the ethos. Remember, pathos, logos, ethos, audience, purpose, message, the Aristotle rhetorical principle. He has the credibility because he's backing everything up, not just with court cases, not just with precedents, not just with former cases and hearings, etc. He's also backing it up with a body, Fani Willis, Nathan Wade, Terrence Bradley, Yurty. He's backing it up with actual evidence that has occurred very recently. So he's just dominating this whole hearing. I mean, Trump hired the best guy. There's no doubt about it. So I want to throw this off to you. What do you think? What do you think of Sadow the Pitbull? Are you in love with him as much as I am? If you're in trouble, who would you rather have as an attorney? Fani Willis? Nathan Wade? Terrence Bradley? Natalie, I keep calling her Natalie. Ashley Merchant? John Merchant? Gillen? McDougal? A body? Miss Clark? Or would you have the Pitbull Sadow? You know who I'm picking. I would love to hear from you. Also, let me know if there's anything else that you think about this. What do you think of a body? What do you think of that rebuttal? What do you think of what the judge said? There it is. I want to hear from you. I want to jump into the comments. I try with my best to respond to all comments. Obviously, super thanks and super chat comments get first dibs. And I appreciate all the support. All the support goes back into the channel. These videos are not easy. Distributing them is not easy. Producing them is not easy. Editing them is not easy. So I really, really appreciate you. If you made it this far, make sure that you subscribe to our free newsletter. It's absolutely free, so you never miss out on anything. That is in the pinned comment and in the description and show notes. Check out these videos here. If you missed this, here's another Sadow, home run right here. Check that out. I just published this video right here on immigration. The truth about what's happening in the migrant crisis. I promise you're going to get a lot out of that video. Check that out because, we do more than just Fani Willis here. We talk about everything to bring you the truth in this election consequential season. So God bless you. God bless the United States, and I'll see you soon.